My name is Robin West. I work as the Senior Manager of Expedition Operations and Planning for Seaborne, and I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you on board an Antarctica voyage on board the Seaborne Quest. Antarctica is one of those destinations that really has to be experienced in order to understand what it's all about, and of course doing it on the Seaborne Quest, the combination of luxury and adventure really is an incredible way to experience Antarctica, and I very much hope that you enjoy your time on board the Quest and of course have a magnificent time down in Antarctica, the Great White Continent, one of the best places to be for a holiday.
Good morning and welcome to Antarctica. We're on Half Moon Island, our first landing for this voyage in the South Shetland Islands. This is a visit that we always love doing as we get closer to Tinsel penguin rookery, and as you can see behind me, all the penguins are on their nest. By this time of the year we have 3 to 4 week-old chicks, and the adults are busy coming and going to the ocean feeding these ever-hungry chicks which are growing so fast. So Half Moon is part of the South Shetland Islands, a group of islands which is slightly north and west of the peninsula itself. It has a little bit more benign weather, so there's plenty of room for the penguins to nest, and the South Shetlands boost in wildlife. Nevertheless, all around us, except these low-lying islands, you can see the typical scenery of Antarctica with ice cliffs and glaciers making it all the way to sea level.
So Half Moon Island was once a volcano. We can tell that because we have the evidence of the feeder system here. These dikes, these beautiful dikes, represent the system that brings magma from the mantle to the volcano. These feeder are very hard rocks, so they are resistant. So this is why today we can see them less eroded than the rest of the rocks. And the rest of the rocks represent the products of those volcanoes. They are mostly lavas. And also we can see in some part some granitic rock that represent the basement that was cut by the volcano.
Well, good morning everyone and welcome to beautiful Cooverville Island, home to about 4,000 pairs of Gentoo penguins. And the Gentoos have everything from 3.5-week-old chicks up top to down below here on the flats, even incubating eggs and having tiny, tiny chicks. We're seeing lots of feeding, lots of traversing back and forth, lots of preening along the beach, and it's just a beautiful time to be here.
Good morning and welcome to Waterboat Point here on the Antarctic continent. In addition to the wonderful scenery, the stunning mountains and the glaciers tumbling down into the ocean that we saw coming in this morning, we have a wonderfully active Gentoo penguin colony and the rare opportunity to visit a research station and the hospitality of the Chilean people.
Hello, I am Lieutenant Eduardo Hidalgo from the Chilean Navy. Welcome to González Videla Station in Paradise Bay. And we activate this station in December of last year to final days of March of this year. We are 5 people from the Navy and 4 from the Air Force. And we work together all the time here.
You share your island with a lot of penguins.
Yeah, last count that we made and other personnel in penguins do was like 3,200.
What is it like to live with all these penguins?
It's a different experience. At the first, it's very strange with the noise because they make noise all day during the day and the night. But after a week, you get used to the noise, so it's a normal noise. We live with them. They are a new family with us here.
It's one of less than 90 historic site monuments recognized by international treaty for the expedition of 1921-1922, the British Imperial Expedition. It sounded quite grand, but in reality it was only 4 individuals. And when they reached this particular spot, they found behind me a waterboat that had been left behind by Norwegian whalers. The expedition leader and his assistant decided the conditions were too challenging and they left. But 2 individuals, Bagshaw and Lester, one of them aged only 19 years old, decided that they had come down to the Antarctic to do proper research, and they decided to stay for 1 full year doing fundamental basic research on penguins, living in this small boat. And when they wintered over in 1921, they were the only 2 individuals on this entire Antarctic continent.
This is, to me, maybe one of the more, if not the most dangerous place on the world. This was even more dangerous, especially with the T-clippers and all the tall ships that came from, let's say, Australia and the Far East, attempting to get back home. Sometimes they spent a month here in all kinds of conditions, day in and day out. Cold, snow, wind, climbing in the masts, and probably not too good food. Constantly wet, and their full gear was probably weighing a ton. So they were really sailors. So I think that for me, especially when you look at this beautiful albatross monument that you have seen, and the beautiful poem related to that albatross monument and the sailors, I think this is a very significant place to pass once or twice in your lifetime.
My friends, we are now sailing up the coast of Chile in the Chilean fjords, and we are wrapping up our trip for Antarctica. We're very happy that we were able to see quite a good number of the sites. We had Adelie penguins, we had chinstraps, and Gentoo penguins. Of course, we had a good sightings of whales as well as some of the most important seals that we can find in the area. The icebergs have been spectacular, and of course, having the chance to see feeding whales is always a highlight for each and every one of us. Trips in Antarctica are always challenging on their own way, and I'm very happy to see that the days we were able to spend down at the continent were very fruitful. And we hope to see you again on a future voyage with the Seaborn Quest.